Or grind your thumb. So I've made that bit. Now we want to get this piece in, yeah? So where I would start, I'll cut a piece of steel that's bigger than the area we want to work to, yeah? Should do it, shouldn't it? Yeah, he's plenty big enough. Now that curve, if you look at that, goes that way. You can either mark out that edge first, which I can do just by tracing a bit of paper. It's probably easier to put the curve in it first, get it a rough size.
Do you have to, like a percentage bigger than the actual root space that you're...
No, if anything, when you're welding in, you want a gap. You want it smaller. Say you weld there, sometimes you have to weld so far and then put a 1mm blade back through it. It'll always try and pull it together. Not worried about little gaps and things like that. Okay, right, so we want to come in, because that's running like that, look. When I try and roll that edge round, I want that to come in. So if I cut it sort of like that, then that'll give me a lead in there, yeah? That one should remain the same. So let's rough that for the moment. So when you first start out doing this sort of stuff, you just want a rough outline for the moment, yeah?
Okay.
That wasn't a bad guess, was it? So now I can reduce that a little bit. That'll let me push it right in, and then we'll scribe it again. So you know you're roughly ballpark, yeah?
So just to take that edge off.
Just any lips and that in it for the moment, just get it all smooth. We'll take a little bit more off later with a grinder, but that'll give us a nice... See, then we've roughed again, so now we know we want to cut to that line, yeah?
Yeah.
Again, you want to get it fairly close, but it doesn't matter if you're not deadly accurate, because you want to leave a bit of a gap for the weld, yeah? Take a bit off of there, if it isn't parallel, yeah?
Yeah.
And I want to take a little bit off of there, so when you weld it, that'll all try and bunch up. We'll do that bit with the grinder. And now we've got a parallel gap there, yeah? And that just needs a little bit of taking off of it. See how it'll pull into shape?
How much gap is like too much?
You don't want any more than that really, about 1 millimetre.
So if you cut it too much, it's best just start again.
Yeah, you can fill it with weld, but unless you've done welding for years and years and years, just start again, because you're just fighting against yourself, you know. See that? See that lip? See, that's coming up shiny.
Yeah. That's
lead. So it's had a dent there before. And instead of using body filler, they use lead. That's what all this is. See? So I've got my welder down on number 2 on the power. I want to turn that down to number 1. I want the least power possible, and anything up to sort of number 4 on the power, you want your wire speed around about 4. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a pulse. You don't want your pulse on, so that's set pretty much as low as that will go, because you know you're working with fresh metal to rusty metal, so you want to weld to the fresh metal side, if that makes sense, and let your weld roll over onto the rusty metal.
Okay.
Because you know you can put some power into it then. So then I lift that up, making sure that it's in line with that. And don't worry about if that comes up higher, that doesn't matter. Just get that weld right on that edge if you can. Right, that's held that there. I know we're in line there. Right, so you see how that's curved now? I need to straighten that. So we'll straighten that back out and we'll get a tack on this side. Then, because if you put a tack say you put a tack there, yeah? That'll then let me, because it's in the middle, let me do that slightly.
Yeah.
So I can get more of alignment with it. If you tack it right in that corner and you want to go that way, you can't.
Yeah.
So you've got something that's curved that way and you want to try and flatten it, just lift that up slightly that way on the anvil or on the vise. A little bit of pressure on it and that'll bring it back in. Let's get a tack just there, yeah? I'm happy with that, that'll weld. That's holding quite well at the moment. I want to lift that a little bit. That's good. So now you can lift your metal, get it at the height you want. See how that's tightened up? As I said, when you weld it, it pulls it in. So you then got no sort of gap there, but that will just go, I think. If not, just pick him up, just put the grinder on there very slightly. Or grind your thumb. Okay. Dipped in a little bit there, but when you lift that round, she should go. See how that's dipped down there now?
Yeah.
But the rest is pulled up, so get a screwdriver in there again and bring him up, yeah? Okay, so that's flush now. One right in the corner. And so know that when I lifted that up, mind you, it's gone down a little bit, we can give that a little. Okay. You want to get one right on the end of there for when you roll your skin round, yeah? And you start bending it all now.
How much will the weld take?
Well, quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get it, it's not necessary on this to make it strong. It's more to make it look pretty,
yeah.
You know. But if you do a weld there, you can do destruction tests on them. The weld will break. The metal will break before the weld breaks.
Really?
Yeah. You can just keep wiggling it, and if you've got a good weld, then one side of the metal should tear off and leave the weld as it is.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get one right on the end of there. Okay, right, now what we'll do is flip him over, trim that round and skin it, and then that will hold it all nice and tight, and then we'll come back and I can weld all that then, yeah? Right, so we've got our shape there, yeah? We know we want a skin to that, so we want to cut it, just, doesn't matter how long they are, but roughly that depth, yeah? So if we say we want that much to roll over, mind you, see I've got to be careful because that line's coming to there. See where that dips around a little bit where I've made that?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is follow that to that. I know we want about that, yeah? Normally when, say that's brand new and the skin's brand new, when you put it on, that edge there will fit right to the, because all your skins come with that folded at 90 degrees.
Yep.
So it fit sort of perfectly in the hole, and you know you've got to start because it's folded at 90 degrees and your hammer will follow that 90 degree bend.
Okay.
So we want to start it so that our fold is just there. So what you want to do is get your pliers and just give it a little start like that, and then bring that in to there. Okay, doesn't matter about that because it's going to roll off of that edge.
Yep.
So again on that one, you want to go to where that skin starts, just give it a little tweak there, following our scribe line. And that's good enough to start it, yeah? So what I want now...
Plaster?
You can use that dolly, it's got a nice sharp edge on it, yeah? Just to start that up. So that's got our start line round there, and now you start hammering it over. You hold your flat dolly. That's near enough in line for us not to worry about, you know. Noisy, horrible job.
It's pretty good.
Well, that's why you scribe it all out, because you know that I've got to put a little piece in there, but that lines up. You can play around with that. So now that's all nice and tight, we can go back to the other side and weld that up and see how, if it buckles or not. What you should do, I could do door skins when I was panel beating for a living, and you literally hammer them round, you get what they call a wobbly. It's a big 6-inch random orbital sander, and you literally just go then around your edges on your face edge that's painted, and you shouldn't have any hammer marks or anything. You just zip it round once and that's it, ready for the paint shop. And that's your line there, it all nice and follows through. So yeah, you could just run a 40 grit disc over that and zip, and that'll be done, ready for the painters. See, once you've skinned that, it will hold it all a lot tighter. If you welded that without that being skinned, yeah, it'd just go bonk, but it can't stretch down that way now. I mean, it'll still go a bit, but like this is going to go somewhere, it will buckle, I know it will. So, but if you really want to try and stop distortion, like on a long run like that, do one weld there and go to the other end, do one weld there, then leave two, do one weld there, leave two, do one weld there, and then it spreads the heat out evenly, so you've got half a chance, yeah? I can see already that's dropped there, but it's minimal, you know what I mean, compared to the overall shape of it. It's nothing to worry about. Turn it down to number 1, cooking it a bit. See where it's blowing holes instead of getting a good weld. So it's up too high, so you just got to try and alleviate that, you know. Big yellow handle screwdriver there, mate. So. Yeah, you're not going to get that dip out, it's gone. That's fine, I'm not worried about that, because it was dented there anyway, so you'll have a high spot. Feel that, there's a slight high spot there, because it's dented there, or was dented there. That would have gone in where they've leaded it, stretched the metal, where I'll cut that, it's always going to dip in a little bit. There's all sorts of different things with welding when you get used to it. I mean, that's down very low, and I know I'm just filling gaps, but if it's really blowing metal, then you weld to your good side of the metal, and you build it over, and the further away you bring it, the less power you get, and you can do, I mean, your ideal weld is 45 that way, 45 that way, but it doesn't really matter on something like this. That's if you want a full strength, you know, precision weld. Just tidy up our edges. Turn that back over and just do our joins and bits here, get all that sorted out. in nice and flush. So we'll put a weld in there, just fill that a little bit up with weld, finish that bit and tidy it up a bit.
Where would you say people go wrong with doing stuff like this?
It's getting shape into it that's where it gets hard. But luckily, because I've done so much of it, I knew that that would pull itself where I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
But say you were trying to put a section in see that there, I made all of that, but that I just did out of a flat piece of metal, because when you look at it, that double curvature isn't a very difficult shape to make.
Yeah.
From a flat piece of steel, yeah? But if you were trying to make that, you've got to get that shape into it first. You'll never do it just by with a flat piece of steel welding it and trying to make it the right shape. It won't happen.
Right.
So you've got to get your sandbag, and you've got to... So it's getting shape in and taking your time of thinking about how wide you want your flanges and all that sort of stuff, you know. It is experience, so it's just...
Practice.
Yeah, years of doing it. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day, as long as you don't try and put a chunk in there. If you mess it up, you just cut it out and start again. But you don't want to end up keep cutting until you've got nothing left, you know.
Yeah.
You like that shape there, you'd never get that into it. There. So you have to hammer that shape into it, planish it up, or if you've got a wheel, put it on a wheel and get your double curves in it.
So get your size, then get your shape.
Get your size, get your shape, always leave it slightly smaller where you want to go in, so you've got like your millimetre gap all the way round, because if you think about it, as that metal welds, it contracts, it's pulling it together.
Yeah.
If you don't leave that gap, it'll just do that or do that. Yeah, so make that slightly smaller. Always leave your outer edges long if you're doing an edge on something, and then trim it all up afterwards. And again, if you're doing a door edge or something, hammer it round and then do your full weld, because it will hold it all nice and tight.
Next week on the workshop.
I thought about having a square box in there or two.
She's big, f***ing big.
This time next year, wouldn't he?
Yeah.